Hello everyone, welcome to the Manchester Basketball Centre here at Wiley Range as the hometown Manchester Mystics take on the City of London Academy. John Hobbs, Caroline Bullock alongside me, and Kaz, it's good to be in the Northwest and looking forward to a really good, enticing game today between the two meanest defences in WNBL Division 1.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm glad you made it for starters because I know it's been a difficult trip up here. But yeah, I'm expecting a really exciting game between these two. Like you said, two defensively minded teams, and it's going to be really fun in today's game.
Absolutely, and CoLA looking to reclaim their top spot in WNBL Division 1, and Manchester, after a strong start, 3-0, have kind of fallen off the radar a little bit. Might this be the performance today that sees them motivated going into the new year?
Yeah, definitely. I think you always want to try and finish strong before the Christmas break. And like you say, Manchester had a few losses in a row now. They started the season really well. They've had some really close games. The last loss to Thames Valley, but winning against Reading last weekend, hopefully that's put them back onto a bit of a winning streak they'll be looking to see.
Absolutely. Starting fives, starting for the City of London Academy. Adaora Diorama, Chloe Vella, Aya Hubble, Deborah Wilson, Azawode, and Chandra Jones-Aya will start for CoLA. For Manchester, Ellie Costa, Michelle Ortega, Natalie Furtado, Rihanna Khalil, and Reni Adowu will start for the Mystics. Been a very busy day here at the Manchester Basketball Centre. Across all three courts, there have been junior games going on, but now the focus turns to the WNBL as we await tip-off, which is in just around under a minute's time here on the Basketball England YouTube channel. Thank you everyone for joining us here today as we enter the Christmas break, and these two teams would love an early Christmas present, and that is a victory.
And I think when you've looked at the teams this year and we've looked at the league, it's anyone's game. Anyone can beat anybody on any given day. The league is so open this season.
Absolutely. As Irene Aboado will start on the bench. She actually missed last week's win at Reading. She suffered a slight knee injury, and coach Rob Fairley opting to keep her out for that game. She does play today, but she will be on the bench, but unsure as to how many minutes she will be playing today.
Yeah, but whatever number of minutes she plays, she's certainly going to have an impact in them because she's just that kind of player. And we saw this week as well, had a huge achievement where she was named third in the Sports Aids One to Watch Awards this week. That's a huge achievement for her, and congratulations to Irene. But yeah, for anyone that's not seen Irene Aboado play before, no matter how many minutes she gets, she's going to make an impact.
Absolutely. It's nice mix of veterans and youngsters on this Manchester Mystics team, creating a decent pathway those veterans use to mentor the younger Mystics players. And of course, the City of London Academy, Southwark Pride, majority of these players play and earn their trade in the WEABL as well. As the ball is up and we are underway here in the Northwest, and straight away CoLA to the rim and the score as Oswide with the finish.
And that's something that you're going to see CoLA do a lot. Look to go inside and look to get some quick points.
Two of the meanest defences in WNBL Division 1, under 60 points a game both these teams concede. A three-pointer is up and no good from Costa. Patient build-up play from CoLA, the drive inside. And three-pointer off to the left by Hubble. And the ball will go out of bounds. It will go to the Mystics.
And something I think that was interesting, we saw in Manchester's game last week against Reading, 36 points from turnovers. They're a team that like to play fast and like to get out on the break, so it'll be interesting when they come up against a team as defensively minded as CoLA are.
And there's a turnover, but Costa comes up with it. Furtado. Khalil. Rahana Khalil, one of those veterans, loses the ball though, and away come CoLA again as Wilson Oswide has it, and CoLA will slow it down. Jones-Aya driving to the hoop, and Jones-Aya will go to the foul line.
And for CoLA, Jones-Aya, she's the assistant coach through the organisation, so having someone like her on the floor for the players to look towards, that's going to be really valuable for them.
Jones-Aya, who had 12 points on 5 of 10 shooting last week against Angela Ruskin, leads the WNBL in assists and steals, both at 5 a game. There's CoLA head coach Jackson Gibbons just having a quick joke and a chat with the table officials. Of course, Jackson Gibbons reassuming his role temporarily as head coach, but never really left CoLA. That coaching bug still with him. It still burns bright as Michelle Ortega carries the ball. That's a very rare call. You don't see that often.
You don't. No, he's CoLA through and through, is Jackson Gibbons.
Oh, absolutely.
And
yeah.
just what a fantastic coach he's been for the organisation as well throughout the years. And it's always fun to see him back on the sideline. More
than a decade in charge of the City of London Academy. When he started his role, there was only 2 female players in the school. And look at where they've come now, how far they've come. One of the most successful programs in British basketball. And they're getting a couple of offensive rebounds here as Wilson Oswide has it. Gets it back off Diorama. And that came off Costa last, so it'll be CoLA ball up 4-0.
And CoLA have come out really strong here. Manchester have had a few games where they've had a slow start, and that's something that they've needed to try and address so far this season.
Jones-Aya was in acres of room, but decides not to use it. Velarth 2, no good. Another offensive rebound, and the putback and the finish from Adora Diorama. And Furtado decides, even though she had an open lane, decides to slow it down. Ellie Costa driving without fear. Furtado has it back. Lovely footwork. Long floater is no good. Diorama the rebound. Jones-Aya driving at Rahana Khalil. A lot of time on the shot clock and a travelling violation. A bit of a lapse in concentration there from CoLA.
Yeah, it can be difficult as well when we've talked about them, both teams defensively minded. You're coming up against a strong team. You've had a long trip as well. It can sometimes take a few minutes to get into the game. But they've had a great start here, 6-0 for them to start with.
Here is Khalil. Nearly travelled. In fact, it was a travel there from Remi Adowu. Again, just like at the other end, another bit of miscommunication there. But so far, CoLA's defence has been very organised, very patient, and Manchester unable to get into any sort of rhythm with just over 3 minutes played in the first period here in Manchester. Lovely change of direction and the finish from Vela. And a quick timeout. Rob Fairley has seen enough. And a good start this from CoLA. Defensively, as said, have been very patient and offensively executing superbly.
Yeah, really good, forcing Manchester into turnovers, being able to get the ball back, and then they've been able to capitalise on the other end. And Vela's shot there, you see, that's what she's going to do all game long. Such a strong player inside, but CoLA have been able to dictate the start of the game so far, have it go their way.
Absolutely, and 6:49 remaining in the first period, as you see up there on the screen. And just the one foul at the moment for Manchester. No team fouls for CoLA. So far, very disciplined on the defensive end. And, in their win against Angela Ruskin last week, they held that team to just 28% from the field. That speaks volumes to what Jackson Gibbons, what Brian the Guru is doing with this franchise.
It does, and we see it consistently with CoLA throughout the the leagues are different leagues, whether it's WNBL, Division 1, under-18s, under-16s. Defence is what they preach at that club, and Brian Nguru is such a fantastic defensive coach. And it's something that's just so natural to the players on there. They really buy in, and everyone has the same goal.
So 3 minutes and a bit of change played in the first period, and Manchester yet to get off the mark. Manchester, who started the season very well, 3-0, have slipped off the radar a little bit, and a foul has been called. And one thing that Jackson has been telling me, like over the last few months as well, is he preaches to his players that despite the calls that they might not agree with, such as that one there, they do not talk to the officials, they do not complain, they just get on with it, and that is refreshing to see as well.
It is, isn't it? And I always think as well, when someone complains to a referee, when did they ever go, oh, you know what, you're right, I'll change my mind?
And that's exactly why he does it. There's Ellie Costa, a former England under-16 international, finally gets Manchester off the mark in this one.
It's a tough job at being a referee, though. I wouldn't want to do it.
Here is Hubble. Hubble drives, good defence from Furtado. Ball batted around, it will stay with CoLA. Here is Aya Hubble, nice pass inside, the floater is no good, ball batted out of bounds, Manchester will keep it. Diorama with the attempt, and straight away Manchester not wasting any time, but Rahana Khalil decides to slow it down. Furtado. Turnaround jumper is no good. And away come CoLA. Harbour. And Deborah Wilson-Oswedi with the travelling violation as she was driving to the baseline, and substitutions coming in, and Aboadu will come into the game for the first time for Manchester. It'll be interesting to see how she's recovering from that knee injury. Still not exactly 100% at the moment.
Yeah, and Irene's been fantastic this season. 11.5 points per game, 7.9 rebounds. Led the team in scoring last year.
As Rahana Khalil misses the three at the top off the feed from Aboadu.
And Irene's just a player that's added new aspects to her game each season.
Diorama couldn't hang on to it, and away comes Ellie Costa. Khalil gets it back from Adowu. Khalil the up and under, too strong. And on the follow, Irene Aboadu couldn't get it to fall. And again, Manchester's struggles continue. Still yet to register a field goal at the moment. Oswede a three, that's actually a long two. In fact, it is a three. The referees, one referee signalled a two, the other one signalled a three. It counts as a three from Deborah Wilson-Oswede.
There's so many lines on this court, it can be hard to see.
Khalil. Kizzy Spence-Muzzington into the game as well for Manchester. Adowu inside, muscles her way in and scores, and finally Manchester get their first field goal with 4:19 remaining in the first period.
And Remi Adowu is so good at that. She might not be one of the top scorers on the team, but her presence is so important inside, and she can get inside when she needs to.
And Diorama, speaking of getting inside when she wants, Diorama with the two inside. 9-point lead for CoLA. Khalil double dribbles with it. Again, another rare call that you don't see very often, as Monife Abidekakan comes into the game for the first time for the City of London Academy, Southwark Pride. And so far, they are showing lots of pride here. 3:45 remaining in the first, up 13-4. Wilson Oswide inside it goes. And Vella the finish. Right now, CoLA having everything their way inside. Aboado. Nice pass inside. Costa unlucky to not get the finish, but she'll get to the line for two. But what a pass from Irene Aboado.
Yeah, that's a fantastic pass, and you can see how they've both developed over the course of 2 seasons in Division 1. That connection's there, and much the same with CoLA as well. When you have players that play through the leagues together and on different teams, you get that connection, and it's just so great to see. Ellie Costa having a great season in the WEABL so far this season, leading the league in points per game with 21.
Absolutely, yeah. Had 16 points, 3 steals in Mystics' last WEABL game against Sheffield College, an 82-50 victory. As Ellie Costa makes the free throws. And into the game for the first time ever, Grace Yabella. 3:18 remaining in the first period. CoLA with a comfortable lead, and inside the finish as well. Wilson Oswide putting Rahana Khalil on skates. Costa. You just sense the pace quickening a little bit. Khalil a 3, no.
And that's how Manchester like to play. When they move the ball around a lot, when they play fast, they tend to be successful.
And the Pride slowing it down. Wilson Oswide, here is Vella. 2 to shoot, they've got to put up something, and a shot clock violation. A bit of a miscommunication there. Too much passing from CoLA and the execution lacking. As Success Ogunwingi comes into the game for the first time, alongside Karina Costa, who led the way last week against Reading. 14 points, 4 3-pointers at JMA. And here she is on the ball. No fear, driving to the hoop, doesn't get it to fall. Faith Lord into the game as well. Ogunwingi travels with it. You can see Coach Rob Fairley barking instructions, a bit frustrated really with that last possession. It was a good offense, but unfortunately the basics just getting in the way.
Yeah, and that's something that can be a bit difficult when you're playing from behind as well. You sort of become a little bit more conscious of trying not to make a mistake, and then it happens. But you just need to play through it, and Manchester, as soon as they see a few shots start to drop, they're going to find their rhythm.
Vella, short hook, short. Aboado with the rebound, and here is Costa, and now Manchester can break, but unfortunately for Michelle Ortega, it goes out of bounds. Excuse me, that was Success Ogunwingi. Again, Manchester's struggles from the field continue as Abadekan pass goes straight out of bounds. Manchester will get the ball back. You can see it's getting a little chippy out there as both teams almost losing their rhythm a little bit with 1:26 left in the first.
Yeah, and I think this is interesting, isn't it? When we've said when you come up with 2 teams that are really both defensively minded, it kind of stops the flow a little bit, and you can see Manchester have kind of fallen bits into that a little bit more than CoLA have. So interesting to see how they can adjust to that.
Absolutely, as Ogunwingi finally gets a field goal down for Manchester. They do trail by 10, 17-7, with a minute to go, and a foul has been called there as Success Ogunwingi fouls Chandra Jones-Aya. That's her first foul.
And yeah, that was a foul. What I'll say is watch Success Odemwingie, because she has such a good read of passing lanes and she's such a quick player. She has committed the foul there, but there'll be so many times she's going to get the steal and get out onto that break.
Absolutely, a player who loves to get out in the open floor, break in transition. A deceptively quick guard is Success Odemwingie.
In my notes that I have, it just says fast next to it.
Even though in the modern day game, the fast break is very prominent, that must really get under the skin of some of the veterans of this Manchester team. Here is Odemwingie. Faith Lord on the ball. Karina Costa. Behind the back pass, somehow finds Lord. Nice pass, 7 to shoot for Manchester, and the finish from Odemwingie.
And that's a great move from Success Odemwingie. And what she's done here is come off the bench, be a spark for the team, get a couple of quick baskets, and that's going to really make a difference for Manchester.
Beautiful pass and the finish inside from Chloe Vella. Great find from Jones Ayer, who leads the league in assists at 5 a game. Final seconds of the first period. CoLA up by 10. Long three is money for Kizzy Spence-Mussington.
And speaking of a spark off the bench, that is what Kizzy Spence has done all season long for Manchester. She comes out, she scores in bunches, and a really big basket there to end the first quarter for Manchester.
Absolutely, and it's 19 to 12 at the end of the first period, and CoLA had led for the majority by double digits, but Manchester finishing strong.
Yeah, and Deborah Wilson-Oswede leading CoLA there with 7 points in the game so far, along with her rebounds. And for Manchester, it's 3 points each for Ellie Costa. 3 points each for Ellie Costa and Kizzy Spence, but Success Odemwingie leading away with 4 points.
End of the first period, CoLA with a 19 to 12 advantage right now, and it's been a very strong first quarter for CoLA, but they have slipped off the radar a little bit, allowing Manchester to get into the game. CoLA shooting 50% from the floor as opposed to Manchester's 30.
It's 14 points in the paint for CoLA as well, and 2 for Manchester. That's been the massive difference there that we've seen. CoLA able to get inside and perhaps outmatching Manchester height-wise with some of the players that they've got out there. Diorama and Chloe Vella, you know, those twin towers inside are very difficult to come up against. But Manchester, 7 points off the bench. It's been, you know, Kizzy Spence, Success Odemwingie, that spark. So maybe that's the way they go in the second.
Biggest lead for CoLA has been 12 points thus far, but it's been trimmed down to 7 as we start the second period here at the Manchester Basketball Centre. As said, game's been going on all day here. Lots of junior action across the 3 courts here, but the show court is out, and CoLA and Manchester take to the floor to start the second period. It's a very good thing when you've got 2 dedicated basketball centres in a city like Manchester where basketball is so prominent.
It certainly is, and there's always something going on. It's great to see in Manchester and just around the country.
As Aboido called for the offensive foul, I believe. Yes. So an offensive foul to start things. That is Aboido's first foul of the game.
And that's tough. You could see what Irene was doing, but great stance from CoLA. I didn't catch who it was that took the charge, but great effort from them defensively.
Here is Hubble. Hubble dictating the pace. And a turnover. Good hands there from Odemwingie, and the finish from Aboido.
There you go. I told you she's going to get a steal. She's going to rack up those fast breaks in Success Odemwingie.
First points, first field goal for Irene Aboido in this one. Gap is 5. Vella looking for help. Wild pass finds Hubble. 8 to shoot for CoLA. Creating some space, a wild pass, might have gone for the shot, decided to find Chloe Vella, but she couldn't hang on. And CoLA with the turnover as Chloe Vella heads to the bench. Oh, excuse me. It's not actually her, is it? It's Eva Grace Yabella who will head to the bench.
And that's some great defense there from Manchester on that last possession.
Kizzy Spence, misses the floater. On the follow, though, was Costa. Isla Habel, here is Diorama looking for help. She's the player who came on to the court, and another turnover for CoLA, and away come Manchester. It's 2-on-1. Aboado, another lay-in in transition, and Manchester now really with a great bit of rhythm going. They've trimmed it to 1.
And this last 90 seconds or so is how Manchester like to play. That's Manchester basketball. If they can get into that rhythm, get those stops, steals, and get into the transition, then they're going to make it difficult for CoLA. See, Odemwingie she just gets her hands everywhere.
Another turnover there, but they will keep it. Cecil Ide into the game, or Ide, sorry, into the game for CoLA. And another shot clock violation. So 3 straight turnovers for CoLA, and Jackson Gibbons just shrugging his head, and Manchester now really in rhythm, and CoLA need to just compose themselves here, get back to what they were doing in the first few minutes.
Yeah, you see those adjustments that Manchester have made coming out of the quarter break.
Spence Mussington doesn't hit the 3 as Karina Costa was going for it. Ball goes out of bounds. CoLA will keep it as Deborah Wilson Oswide comes back into the game for CoLA, and taking a seat, Monife Abedekin. One-point game. CoLA led by as many as 12 in the early stages of the first period. A great start from them, but Manchester have started the second quarter strong. Ide, great defense there from Success Odemwingie, and the ball goes out of bounds. The Mystics have it again. That's 4 quick turnovers.
And we've seen a massive difference here defensively for Manchester coming into the second quarter. They've really been able to stand their ground, and you can see them doubling, even triple teaming CoLA when they've got the ball.
Aboado driving. 3 is up, but no good from Costa. Scramble near the free throw line for the loose ball as Isla Habel comes up with it. And another turner, an offensive foul this time, moving screen from Chloe Vella.
And Manchester here, if they can capitalise on this, take the lead, you feel like that's quite a swing here in the second. CoLA not having been able to get a successful score on the last, 5 possessions?
Absolutely, yeah. It's been 5 possessions without a score, 4 turnovers in that spell. As Vella takes a seat, and Monife Abedekin's brief time on the bench comes to an end. She comes back in. And a wild pass there from Essie Asante. Ide, a 3, no good. CoLA over the years, traditionally not known as a 3-point shooting team. They do have some 3-point shooters on this roster though this season. Shot clock at 3, they've got to get a move on. Off the glass is no good from Abedekin, and here comes the Mystics again. Chance to take the lead. Costa, wild layup attempt, but it will stay with the Mystics. 13 on the shot clock, 6:14 left in the second period.
And time here for Manchester, they don't have to rush anything. They've got time to move the ball around well, and they've been able to be successful when they've done that. This rhythm that they've got in from perhaps the last minute or so of that first quarter and gone on this run here in the second, just keep doing what they've been doing.
Michelle Ortega comes back into the game for the Mystics. Irene Aboado heads to the bench. Chandra Jones-Aya also into the game for CoLA as Cecil Ide takes a break. And here is Jones-Aya driving to the hoop. Out of control, but fouled by Karina Costa. .6:03 remaining, and it's been a fair while since we've had a score at the moment, actually, hasn't it? It's been very chippy, hasn't it?
Yeah, a low score in second quarter, 6-0 to Manchester this quarter after almost 4 minutes gone. So CoLA with a chance here to get their first point for the second. That's probably my fault for saying that.
Chandra Jones-Aya misses the first free throw. It could have had something to do with the drums as well, which is being banged by Irene Aboado's family that are here today.
There's always a lot of support and always a lot of noise here in Manchester. It's really great. And I know Irene's mum travels everywhere to watch her and her incredibly talented family. Sister Jane plays for Manchester City, so does her brother.
Jones-Aya just about gets the pass out. Harbaugh 10 to shoot for CoLA. Harbaugh on the spin, off the window and down.
That was a really nice basket from Isla Habal.
Entering the halfway point of the second period here as Spence Mussington's shot is off to the left. And that's an offensive foul as Spence Mussington got her body in the way. And Jones-Aya really reckless really when it came to bringing the ball up as Ellie Costa checks back in and Kizzy Spence will head to the bench.
Kizzy with those 3 points, that big basket to end the first quarter, taking the offensive foul there. You'll see her come on in short bursts, like I said earlier. She just comes off the bench, a real energy player.
In her second year in Manchester, a former Oakland's Wolves player. 11 points, 4 of 8 from the field in their last game away at the Reading Rockets. Costa, no hesitation, but that shot is short. And away come CoLA. 3-pointer no good, and all alone Diorama for the two, and a timeout has been called by Rob Fairley. He has seen enough, and Manchester got it to within 1, but CoLA have restored priority and now lead 23-18.
Yeah, and it's been a good run for Manchester here in the second, but CoLA, credit to them, they've been able to answer in this last minute, so it's only been in the last minute that they've been able to swing this. But once they get into their rhythm and start to play how they want to, that's kind of the battle, isn't it? You're trying to force the other team to play how you want them to, but you've got to kind of keep playing your game.
And one interesting thing out of that timeout as it's still going on is Jackson Gibbons taking almost a back seat. He was almost at the 3-point line and allowing Chandra Jones-Aya to actually take that timeout. He's now come back in for some last-second instruction, but that speaks volumes of this CoLA team. It's all for one for all right now, isn't it?
It really is, and every time you speak to Jackson and the players, they'll certainly echo that, and that's been what we've seen from them as an organisation. But it's a huge, it's huge for the players to know that you can kind of work by committee like that. And Jones-Aya, she's a fantastic coach in her own right, as an assistant, as she does. And like I said earlier, having someone like her out on the floor that can lead the team on the floor, she's playing as well, which is very difficult to do, isn't it, that player-coach role? But it's really great to be able to see that, and we've got a front-row seat to it here.
Absolutely. There's not many successful player-coaches over the years in British basketball. Probably the most successful that stands out was Fab Flanoy at the Newcastle Eagles, of course now earning his trade in the NBA. Inside, no good from Ellie Costa.
And we've got Chloe Gaynor emulating that now in Newcastle for the women's team.
Absolutely, yes. Inside, beautiful find, beautiful pass, and the finish. Isla Habal.
That was a brilliant handoff from Habal.
Absolutely, finding Monifeya Adebakan. Costa. All of a sudden as well, 25-18 with 4:22 remaining in this second quarter. There's Rahana Khalil back in. And a wild shot, but it goes in anyway from Natalie Furtado.
That's the Nat Furtado basket. She makes the most unbelievable shots that she puts up.
Almost a borderline circus shot, but hey, they all count.
So long as it goes in.
Diorama muscling away inside, and a foul. And it's a 5-point lead for CoLA. Chance to make it a 6-point game. Isadora Diorama will head to the line for the extras. And a big group substitution coming in for Manchester as Michelle Ortega comes back into the game. And Irene Aboido also checks back in. As Diorama makes the resulting free throw. 3:50 remaining in the second period. CoLA have weathered Manchester's storm, as it were, in this in the early stage of the second, and now have an 8-point advantage. Three-pointer is short from Costa. On the follow, though, Ortega, and she gets it back again. Great hustle from Michelle Ortega. Here is Khalil. Aboido. Blocking foul has been called. And that'll be called on Monifea Debecan.
And Ortega there grabbing the offensive rebound, giving the Mystics a second chance. She's really come into her game the last few games for Manchester as well, and she's a player that has a real impact on the game. She doesn't necessarily have to score, but it's the things that she does off the ball and just works really hard in her time on the court.
As Irene Aboido goes to the line. And you mentioned, some great news for Irene this week, finishing third in the Sports Aid One to Watch award. Such a fantastic achievement for such a young player, and formed an incredible partnership over the summer with Anitha Thompson, of Milton Keynes. Obviously, she's now in the States as Great Britain got promotion to Division A, their under-16 team. What an achievement, going to Turkey and actually getting that promotion.
Yeah, that's massive. And Chloe Vela also was out there on that team, who's out there for CoLA today. And Irene was just fantastic in that competition. 4th in points per game in the whole competition and 2nd in steals. She's a really exciting young player. There's a reason why she's named One to Watch for the future, but just has achieved so much, and she's still so young. It's so exciting to think where she may be in a few years' time.
Shot clock winding down for CoLA. They've got to get busy. Diorama sees it. It whacks the backboard, and another shot clock violation. The 3rd shot clock violation for CoLA in this game.
And that just shows, that's a testament to Manchester's defence that they've really come out strong with in the second quarter. You've got to play 25 seconds of defence. You can't play the 24 and give them like half a second at the end.
2:55 remaining in the second period. Khalil finds Furtado. Khalil gets it back. Khalil out of control. Still finds. Oh, Ortega, what a finish! Didn't think that was going to. I thought that was going to be a broken play, but Ortega up and under gets it to fall.
That's fantastic.
Diorama, great defense from Furtado, but referee saw an infringement. Furtado actually fell to ground very awkwardly, but a smile on her face as she leaps back up.
She always bounces back up, doesn't Nat Furtado?
Tougher than a 2-pound steak is Natalie Furtado. Experienced playing for the Mystics and the Giants in the old WBBL.
Yeah, and she was part of the very first WBBL Cup final winning team with the Manchester Mystics, 2016-17. Just again, like having players like her and Rahana Khalil on the team, really experienced veterans for Manchester.
As Diorama misses the first free throw. (28-23), 2:29 remaining in the half here at the Manchester Basketball Centre as Aboido gets the long rebound. Here is Rahana Khalil. Of course, what a story Rahana Khalil has had in her illustrious basketball career, does so much for the city of Manchester. And 3 is up, and it's good from Ortega.
Yeah, and Rahana Khalil, part of the best game ever, that's a fun fact, the National Cup where the Stockport Lapwings in Division 2 beat the Division 1 Solent Kestrels.
We will no doubt be talking about that a bit later on as we enter the final 2 minutes of the half here in Manchester. Vela hands it off. Well, it would have been a foot violation. The referees didn't spot it. Bodies on the floor all over the place. The shot clock buzzer has gone as well. I'm not sure what exactly has gone on there. Referees are losing control as well. We just have to have a break in play there.
That almost looked they were about to call an 8-second violation because the ball was with Manchester and then Manchester were trying to get it over the halfway line.
But yet at the same time the shot clock buzzer went off as well.
And players stopped because I think they were expecting for the ball to then go out of bounds and reset.
So I think Manchester will keep the ball. They will keep it. 1:33 remaining, 19 on the shot clock. And the referee's Jackson Gibbons just having a quick chat with our officials. That was a very confusing sequence, I'm not going to lie. It's not one you see very often, is it?
It's not, but it really shows how hard both teams are playing. Players throwing themselves on the floor, trying to chase the ball down so they can get possession. And yeah, no one's stopping. They're all going after it.
And we can now reset. 2-point game. Costa. Khalil, a 2. No, that's short off to the right. Jones Aya. Driving at Khalil. Khalil, good defense. It will stay with CoLA with 12 on the shot clock. Jones Aya gets it back. Here is Harbour. Nice pass inside. Diorama. Offensive foul. I think even she was shook up by that, but Irina Bodo getting her body in the way, sacrificing herself for the team.
And again, it's that really strong defense that Manchester have been able to play here in the second quarter, like a totally different team to the one we saw in the first.
Final minute of this first half. It's been a very low scoring second period thus far. Manchester currently 14-9 up in this second period, but CoLA more importantly hold a 2-point advantage. 1 possession game, under a minute to play in the second. Aboado assessing what's before her and turns it over. Good defense from Diorama, and away comes Jones Aya, and a foul at mid-court.
And that's that long wingspan of Chloe Vela and Adora Diorama inside, able to really get into those lanes and knock the ball out of their opponent's hands.
And more importantly as well, 44 seconds to play in the second period, and Rahana Khalil now on 3 fouls.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Manchester, but Rahana, a very experienced player, able to play through the fouls if she needs to, but we'll see Coach Rob Fairley there give her a seat on the bench for the rest of the half.
Rahana Khalil with just 3 assists to her name thus far. A player that leads the team in 3-point percentage, 40% from deep this season. And as you mentioned, Kaz, a winner with Stockport Lapwings in 2022 in that absolutely infamous National Cup final that had everyone talking on the British basketball scene.
It certainly did, and just what an example and what a showcase of the talent in the Women's League across the country that game was. If you've not seen it, it's on the Basketball England YouTube channel, and it's absolutely amazing. Just a fantastic game. And yeah, for Rahana to be part of history, part of that team, and then make the move over to Manchester, again sharing her experience with the team here, it's just fantastic for players to learn from.
Jones Aya, here is Harbaugh, and the shot clock is off, so CoLA will no doubt hold it as long as possible for the final shot of the half. Harbaugh putting the moves on Spence Mussington. Baseline jumper is money from Monife Adebakan, and that ends the first half here in Manchester. And CoLA lead 31-26, but it's all to play for. It's been a very competitive first half, both teams having their spurts in between, but CoLA, more importantly, hold a 5-point advantage.
It certainly is. Just a 2-possession game there going into half-time, and the end of that quarter really symbolises the way CoLA play, just calm, considered offense, getting the shot at the end of the shot clock, taking their time and not panicking. And it's been a back and forth game, which is kind of what we expected when we were talking about it beforehand, weren't we? It's two teams that match up really well together, and a close game as we expected.
As Adora Diorama 1 point shy of a double-double, leading the way for CoLA, 9 points, 11 boards. She has been dominant so far in these first 20 minutes.
Yeah, she certainly has, and she just continues to grow season on season, and it's great to see her out there. Young player of the under-17 player of the year in WNBL South last season, just keeps growing, and I mean a near double-double at half-time, that's incredible. Absolutely,
and Deborah Wilson-Oswede with 7 points as well to support Diorama, and leading the Mystics right now. It's been a very, very balanced scoring effort. Michelle Ortega leading the way with 5 for them, shooting 31%. Conversely, CoLA shooting 48%.
Yeah, Ortega's been big for Manchester, and that shooting from the field, we saw Manchester struggling in the first quarter, didn't we? It was free throws that got them on the board to start with, but maybe slightly below their average there. But again, 2 tough defensive teams that they're the first and second team in holding their opponents to less points than them. That's not the right way to say it, John, but you know what I mean.
It's the Kaz way of saying it, isn't it? So that is half-time here at the Manchester Basketball Centre here on Wiley Range. And so far, CoLA with a 5-point advantage, but this game is firmly in the balance. Join us for the third quarter coming up in around 12 to 13 minutes' time. Welcome back to the Manchester Basketball Centre here at Wiley Range, where the Manchester Magic trail CoLA.
The Mystics.
The Manchester Mystics, trail CoLA 31-26. That's the first and last time I will do that. It's been a competitive first half of action though, but Manchester right now looking to find their rhythm a bit. You know, they stumbled a bit towards the end of that second quarter, and CoLA really finishing strong.
Yeah, it's a game of runs, as everyone always says about basketball, isn't it? But CoLA having a run towards the end of the second there. Manchester started the second quarter really, really strong. Wasn't till around 4 minutes gone in the second that CoLA were able to score, but finishing strong with that nice turnaround jumper to end the first half.
And we are underway in the third period as Jones-Aya misses the two inside, and Manchester will get the ball back. First couple of seconds here in the third period. And a quick turnover there as Costa's pass is wanting, and Hubble blows the layup. Costa comes up with it. Aboido inside, the layup is money. 3-point game. Hubble driving down Main Street, again can't get her layup to go. Two rushed offenses there from CoLA. Odemwingie gives it up to Costa. Costa, lovely footwork inside, wild layup, but can't get it to fall. Pace is quickening to this contest. It's a kind of pace that these two teams not really accustomed to, even though there are a few players on this Manchester team that like to break in the open floor. 7 to shoot for CoLA. As Vela goes up, doesn't get her layup to fall. Frantic pace here as Spence Muzzington nearly runs out of room. Corner three is off the back iron from Costa.
That was a good save by Aboido.
Very scrappy sequence here from both teams.
Mirroring a little bit to what we saw at the start of the first quarter.
Spence Muzzington inside. Remy Odowu misses the two inside. Jones-Aya, nice pass to Vela. Vela a bit out of control, doesn't get it to fall, fights for the rebound, and CoLA will get it back.
And a bit of a frantic start here for the third quarter. Like I said, a bit like the first to start with. So sometimes that halftime break can knock you out of your rhythm a little bit. Teams have been getting into a flow, and it's not the warmest of places in here, is it? So you stop playing, have to get back out on court, and it can take maybe a minute or two to adjust to that.
Well, we are in the north, aren't we? So, and it's a traditionally cold part of the country, but still stunning in its own right. Harbo, wide open from the top. That's money. Manchester's defense just fading away, and Hubble says thank you very much.
You absolutely cannot leave Isla Habal that open anywhere on the court, but especially the three-point line.
Odowu gives it up to Odemwingie, and the two-pointer is no good from Aboido. And the ball goes out of bounds, and it will stay with the Mystics. Of course, following on from this game, Manchester Magic's Division 2 team will play the Derbyshire Arrows. That is due to tip off at 5:30. That game will also be on the Basketball England YouTube channel. Join us for that. Spence Muzzington drives along the baseline. That's a tough shot. As Jones-Aya comes up with it, and it's stolen away by Odowu, and here comes the Mystics with Costa. As Odemwingie holds it, Costa gets it back. Three-throw line jumper off the backboard is no good.
That's great presence of mind there from Kizzy Spence to get back, just get in the way, put off the shot, and gets Manchester the ball back.
34-28, 6:56 left in this third period. And that's a foot violation from Chandra Jones-Aya, as Success Odemwingie was driving along the baseline looking for Kizzy Spence. Beautiful feed inside, and Aboido with the finish under the basket. And a foul at the other end has been called on Remi Idowu. And that's her first foul of the day.
Looking at the scoreboard there, John, both teams managing their fouls pretty well. It's just Rahana Kulilno's 3 fouls for Manchester on the bench at the moment.
She just has 3 assists to her name in this one. Lovely find from Hubble as Diorama gets it to go, and that's her double-double.
Yeah, that's huge. And Diorama averaging just under 10 points and under 6 rebounds a game. She's smashed that already so far today.
An aggressive player under the basket. And their defense ramped up here as Manchester with 6 to shoot. Spence Mussington doesn't get the 3 to fall. Good spell this from CoLA, up 6, chance to make it an 8 or even a 9-point game. Jones-Aya driving to the hoop, and she will head to the foul line.
And again, a relatively slow start scoring-wise to the quarter for both teams. CoLA leading the way 5-4. We saw a 6-0 Manchester start in the second quarter.
Jones-Aya makes the first free throw, and we spoke earlier about Jones-Aya, you know, leading the way in assists and steals, but all round an incredible talent. Really, you know, a stat sheet stuffer, we call it, isn't it? And she definitely typifies that.
Yeah, she definitely is. And last season in WNBL Division 1, she was part of the British Team of the Year. You know, she just shows off her all-round game. 11 points per game, 7.8 rebounds and 5.5 assists. Leads the team in both rebounds and assists per game, and second in points. There's nothing she can't do out there for you.
Kizzy Spence Mussington put under all sorts of pressure from Adekin, and a foul has been called, and frustration from Kizzy Spence Mussington. That was strong defense from Monife Adebican, but a bit too handsy at the end.
Yeah, and it's tough. She did a really good job there pressuring the ball, but Manchester gets a reset here. Try it again, but the CoLA defense just relentless, not giving up, not giving an inch.
And the hook is no good from a Goku in a jump ball situation. The possession arrow, I think, will stay with Manchester, and it does. Entering the halfway point of the third period. Spence Mussington needs no hesitation with that 3, and she buries it.
That was perfect form, catch and shoot, nothing but net on the shot.
And a turnover there is Aboido with the steal, and away comes Manchester, and a blocking foul has been called, and Odemwingie unlucky not to get that shot to fall. That would have been a big score if she'd got it. As Lexi Mahil comes into the game for the first time today for CoLA, the number 4. As Monife Abedekin comes out. Costa a 3.
It's a big rebound from Idowu.
Again, Manchester seemingly settling with long-range shots right now. That's 3 straight. 2 of them have missed. .4:57 remaining in the third period. Still a competitive, close encounter here between the 2 tightest defenses in WNBL Division 1. Costa a 3 in and out, and it's rebounded by Vela.
Yeah, the three's not really dropping for either team. Manchester having hit 3 to CoLA's 2. Manchester usually have a bit more success from behind the arc.
Jones-Aya, shot clock winding down. Vela gets her shot blocked. And the finish inside, no good from Abodo. And a steal. Abodo gets the steal at the other end. And now Manchester can break again. Odemwingie finds Spence Mussington, a 3. No, off the back iron. And it's rebounded by Mahil. And here is Jones-Aya. And Jones-Aya fouled by Odemwingie.
Just a really fast-paced few minutes that we've had here. And you can see Irene Obodo there racing back out, getting the steal, getting Manchester in possession, and then ball's going back the other way. It's just really fast-paced basketball from both teams.
Absolutely. It's a pace that you know traditionally doesn't suit CoLA, but you know, they can play at the same time. They can play at that pace, but that's not what Jackson Gibbons preaches to his team. Much more methodical, every play very well thought out. Harbaugh, 5 to shoot. Foul is called. Remy Idowu with the foul. As Ellie Costa will check in, and Odemwingie will take a seat.
And Odemwingie's done a great job in her timeout on court. 4 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists. But again, it's those steals. She's a very disruptive defender, which doesn't show up on the stat sheet, but it's really valuable to the team.
Wide open, Hubble a 3. And Rob Fairley has seen enough. He's called a timeout. And all of a sudden, CoLA are now on an 8-point lead, 41-33, 3:26 remaining in the third.
And the biggest lead of the game, we saw it in the first quarter, 12 points for CoLA. For Manchester, you don't really want to be getting back into that territory towards the end of the third quarter. You want to keep it as close as possible, as we've seen from the last sort of quarter and a half or so. But CoLA have done a really good job here in the third quarter. They've come out strong after the break and been able to counter Manchester's defence. And whilst it's been a low-scoring quarter for both teams, CoLA coming out on top.
And just like we saw in the second period, Jackson Gibbons taking a back seat in this timeout, letting his players have a chat, decide what they want to do as he now comes back into the huddle for the timeout. And that's it's just a very interesting way of going about timeouts, isn't it?
It certainly is, yeah, and gives the chance maybe a team to try and, you know, can they see what they need to try and correct? What do they think's going on? It's great to see that Jackson's got the confidence in his team to let them maybe try and figure those things out.
Team made up largely of under 19 players, majority of whom play in the WEABL as well. There are 5 WEABL players repping the Mystics. Of course, the Mystics are a perfect 5-0 in the WEABL right now. Last victory coming over Sheffield College the other week.
They are, and having a lot of this team play together on the WEABL squad, just like CoLA do, you know, that's really effective for both teams, because you get to have more than just 1 or 2 practices a week. For Division 1, you're getting to do it more regularly. And again, you just get more familiar with your teammates. It really helps the preparation.
Nearly a backcourt violation there from Ellie Costa. Just about kept her foot in. Shot clock at 9. Ortega. Costa, the extra pass. Spence Mussington, a 3. She falls to ground. No foul called. She wanted a whistle as well. And now CoLA with a chance to restore their double-digit lead. Their only double-digit lead was in the first quarter. Hubble, 7 to shoot. Diorama, shot clock winding down. She drives to the hoop and scores. And just like that, it's a 10-point lead.
And that's a huge basket from Diorama. She's just consistently done that throughout the game. She's very patient, able to get to the basket, and really good finisher at the rim.
Ortega finds a bit of room inside, too strong with the layup. Diorama inside, a back-to-back scores for Diorama, and it's a 12-point lead, their joint biggest of the game. Timeout, Rob Fairley.
Yeah, it's a really good run there from CoLA. Been able to answer coming out into this third quarter. It's biggest lead of the game now, as you've said, but what can Manchester do here to try and answer in the last 12 minutes of the game?
Well, Manchester led from start to finish last week in Berkshire when they came up against the Rockets, but right now under the cosh a little bit on home territory.
A 14 to 7 run there for CoLA that quarter. Well, in this quarter we've still got 2:13 to play.
Of course, team fouls, CoLA under control at the moment with 3 team fouls in this third period. Manchester flirting with the penalty. Plenty to Rob Fairley and Pete Paraskeva to think about with 2:13 remaining here in this third period as Rihanna Khalil comes back into the game for Manchester. And despite her having 3 fouls, it's that veteran leadership that Manchester need right now, that calming presence, and Rihanna Khalil has that in bunches.
It certainly is, and it's Rihanna knows how to play through fouls. She's a very experienced player, but also having that leadership on court. She's a really strong defensive-minded player as well. So having that, her set the tone as she does on defense, and having that calmness about her. The team are down 12. They've got some work to do here, but having her out on court is going to really help.
As Costa went for the layup, it was deflected away. Bella inside, that's a travel. And a much needed stop for the Mystics as we enter 1 minute and 50 seconds to play here in the third at the Manchester Basketball Centre.
And Manchester have done a good job of being able to get those stops. They just need to capitalise on the other end, get the points when you've got a stop, as simple as that sounds.
Layup is good for Karina Costa. 4 points for Karina Costa.
If you're Manchester here, you want to try and get another stop, get it to a single-digit game.
Bodies on the floor as Karina Costa and Chloe Vella were fighting for it. As Eva Grace Yabila comes into the game for CoLA, and taking a rest is Chloe Vella.
So the double team there from Manchester.
Absolutely, 7 to shoot, and that will be 4 fouls on Rihanna Khalil. CoLA zeroing in on the number 16. And Eva Grace Yabila will head to the foul line. Well, excuse me.
So
In fact, it's Diorama will head to the foul line, excuse me. And she makes the first. Splits her free throws as Ellie Costa comes up with it. Khalil will stay in the game with 4 fouls, but with the game entering the final minute of the third and a 4th quarter to go, as Khalil puts up a 2 in and out. Diorama is screaming for it. Shot is up from Wilson Oswide. And it will go out of bounds, and Manchester, I think, will keep it. They will.
But that last rebound there for Diorama gives her 16 points and 16 rebounds. That's a huge game from her, and we've still got one more quarter to play.
On course for a 2020 game. We've had 2 of them this season. Costa from the corner, short. Offensive rebound and good from Faith Lord. And at the other end, Wilson Oswide misses the layup, gets her own rebound. And CoLA can reset. Final seconds of the third quarter. Isla Hubble, 2. That's no good, and that'll do it for the third period here. And CoLA in the ascendancy, leading 46-37.
Yeah, a big third quarter there from CoLA. Manchester's just, like I said, able to get those stops, but not been able to capitalise points-wise. It's been a 15-11 run for CoLA in that quarter, but a 9-point lead heading into the fourth. In the context of this game, that's been big, as teams have been so evenly matched. But, you know, again, 9 points in a basketball game in 10 minutes. We've seen crazy things, and
yeah.
9 points isn't a crazy,
absolutely,
isn't a crazy statistic
still
at
a
all.
lot of basketball to play. Diorama, though, as you mentioned, 16 points, 16 boards, leading the way for CoLA right now, and she has been unstoppable here today, shooting 7 of 11 from the field, and CoLA as a team shooting 42% from the floor.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. It's the points in the paint as well for CoLA. It's something they live by. They're able to get the ball inside. Having 2 bigs in Diorama and Vela inside is just such a treat for CoLA to have 2 bigs that can work their way in and then kick it out to Habal if they need on the 3-point line, or have someone to drive inside. But yeah, shooting 42.9% to Manchester's just 27.8.
Absolutely, and you talk about points in the paint. 28 of CoLA's 46 points have come under the basket here today.
Yeah, and 8 second chance points for them as well. Those offensive rebounds really crucial. Fast break points with a slight difference. Manchester taking the edge 6-3, but neither team, apart from in that second quarter for Manchester when they had a bit of a run, neither team have been able to get out into transition much. And that's, again, that's testament to both teams with that defensive-minded play that they like to play with.
So we are about to start the final period here in the Northwest. And the Mystics have it all to do, but it is a game of runs basketball, and Manchester can certainly pour on the points when they need to, but my goodness me, they do need to in this final period as Irene Aboido comes back into the game to start the fourth period.
If we look at the rebounds here, John, 43 rebounds for CoLA to Manchester's 27. Now Manchester ahead of CoLA so far this season in rebounds per game with just over 41, so kept well under their average, and CoLA surpassing their average already in the third quarter, so that's been the big difference maker here today.
Faith Lord hanging on to the ball a bit too long, but she gets out of jail as Aboido drives along the baseline and steps out of bounds. Chance for CoLA to extend their lead to double digits here. They've led by as many as 12 in this contest. As pressure defense from Aboido.
Isla Habal has got the best handles.
And inside, and the finish from Wilson Oswede.
She just looks after the ball so well, and you could see her there falling on the floor. Not a problem for her whatsoever. She's going to keep it under control.
So composed at the point guard position, can play the two guard as well. Faith Lord driving to the hoop, and it's blocked by Eva Grace Yabila. Great spell of basketball here from the visitors. 6 to shoot Costa, step back 2. Misses everything. And good defense again from CoLA. They held Angela Ruskin last week to under 28% from the floor, and they look like they're on course to do that here again against Manchester. But Manchester not out of this.
Not at all, no. 11-point game, still 8.5 minutes to play. But yeah, CoLA, they do this to teams. They really pressure them, and it makes it really difficult for teams to get into their flow.
Wilson Oswide misses the 2 inside on the follow, and good from Yabila. As Remy Idowu will check in momentarily for the Mystics, and the pass is deflected out of bounds by Habal.
Look at how she bounced there. She's very bouncy, is Isla Habal. I remember in the, I think it was the WNBL final last year, she almost jumped out of the gym.
Rachel Madhu will check into the game for the first time for the Pride. And Eva Grace Yabila will take a seat. Idowu looking for help. Decides to drive baseline. Nice feed inside, and the finish from Odemwingie. Jones-Aya drives inside, extra pass, Wilson Oswide misses the 3. And a foul on the floor has been called this time. As Jackson Gibbons barks instructions to his team as Manchester on the break again. 2 minutes and a bit of change in this 4th period. Open 3 is no good from Odemwingie. Manchester really struggling from downtown, especially in this second half. Inside, the finish is good from Diorama.
Massive 18 and 16 for Diorama.
Boado nearly loses the ball, has to kick it out and does. Odemwingie has it. Boado has still remained on the floor, and you remember we spoke last week, she missed the game against Reading with a knee injury. Coach Rob Fairley wanting to keep her out of that trip to Reading, one of their longer trips of the season.
Yeah, I think she caught her head there. It looked like she fell awkwardly.
No signs of limping, which is a good thing, and almost confused as to why she's coming off. As Kizzy Spence Muzzington comes back into the game. So Manchester will get the ball back. Here is Karina Costa. Kizzy Spence. Along the baseline, zip pass. Finds Furtado inside. Idowu with the short hook, no good. Big rebound there from Rachel Madhu. Jones-Aya comes up with it. As Wilson Oswide almost thought she was going to shoot the ball, decided to go the extra pass. CoLA will keep it.
Yeah, and it's been those rebounds. Again, you've seen it on the other end. CoLA just really out-rebounding Manchester on the boards, and that's just given them such an edge here in this game here, up 13 here in the 4th.
6:40 remaining. CoLA at the summit. Hubble inside. Diorama shot clock winding down. She gets it to go anyway. 20 points now and 16 points. 16 rebounds. What a game Diorama is having.
It's a huge game, and a player that averages 9.4 points, 5.8 rebounds. She's just eclipsed that in today's game, and it really shows this is a CoLA team where anybody can have their day. It's a really strong team that plays by committee, and they've got so many different players out there who can just go off. But Diorama has just been consistently good in wherever she's played in the last few years, she's really, really a talent to watch in this country.
And a timeout has been called by the Mystics after this play. Madeline Warren will come into the game, and a player that haunted the Mystics in last season's Under-18 Women's National Cup final, had 11 points in that game, one of the 3 players that hit double figures. But right now, CoLA enjoying a very strong final period here. Yeah,
they certainly are, and largest lead of the game, an 8-2 run here this quarter for CoLA, takes them up to this 54-39 lead. So Manchester have got some work to do. It's not insurmountable, but they need to start going on a run now, and they need to kind of find that that spark that they had in the second quarter, where we saw them able to close CoLA down and get those. We had 5 stops in a row?
Yeah. Yeah, and 4 of them were turnovers as well. But CoLA have certainly recovered and now have their biggest lead of the game with 6:06 remaining in this contest at the Manchester Basketball Centre.
And as you head towards the Christmas break, teams are going to be mindful that they've got a bit of time off coming up, but then January ramps up and then the run towards the playoffs. So getting into a good position in the table just before that Christmas break. CoLA currently 2nd, Manchester in 6th spot, is going to be really important for both teams.
As CoLA get back underway, 4 minutes played in the 4th. Here is Jones-Aya, finds Madeline Warren with her first touch of the game. 10 to shoot for CoLA. Vela inside, agonisingly falls out. Oboido with the rebound. Ortega. Oboido will reset. Without fear, drives. Uses her pivot foot to pick up her dribble. Shot clock at 7. Ortega. And a good look. It was a good look for Kissy Spence-Mussington, but too much mustard on it.
Yeah, you can see what Ortega and Spence were trying to do there. Unfortunate for it not to come off. But if you're Manchester, just, didn't work that time, go again.
Entering the halfway mark here in the northwest. Of course, Manchester Magic and Derbyshire Arrows will be playing after this game concludes, as Oboido with an easy score in transition.
And that takes Oboido up to 11 points and 8 rebounds in her first game back after that, after being off for the Reading game.
It's a 13-point game. Jackson Gibbons calls a timeout for CoLA. But, even though there's a lot of basketball to be played, it's been a very good, strong performance from CoLA here today. They've had their slumps, but they've certainly recovered from that and hold a comfortable double-digit lead. But Manchester, certainly a team that can fight back, that can, make things difficult no matter who they're up against.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And, 5 minutes still a long time in basketball. CoLA, though, they've been really dominant inside. Those 36 points in the paint and the massive rebounding advantage that they've had over Manchester, 47 rebounds to Manchester's 30. And they've really been able to capitalise that and use that, get inside, use the high advantage that they've got over Manchester and just, almost score at will sometimes under the basket.
Bit of pressure defense being played here by Manchester. Jones-Aya. Wild pass and Ortega picks it up. Spence-Mussington for company, lays it up, no good. On the follow was Ellie Costa. She'll go to the foul line. Success Odemwingie will go to the foul line. But good fast break basketball there from Manchester. Yeah,
absolutely. And credit CoLA for getting back on defense, and success for following the ball down, not just leaving Kizzy open on the break, following her teammate down, gets rewarded with 2 points at the line. A chance for 2 at the line. But that's the, you always want to be following the ball.
As Success Odemwingie goes to the line, averaged around 7, or close to 8 points, 3 boards last season. And we talk about, like, earlier on, these two teams, not traditionally fast break teams, more methodical in their approach, but successor Odemwingie, certainly a player that breaks that curve, loves to break in transition, as we mentioned early in the first half, and a really quick player.
Yeah, she certainly is lightning fast. And again, another player that you've just seen continue to develop over the last couple of seasons. She's a really important part for this Manchester squad and will continue to be so throughout the season.
4:38 remaining, an 11-point lead for the visitors from London.
And at Manchester here with 4.5 minutes to play in the fourth, 20 points at the moment below their average scoring in the game. So CoLA having really been able to stop them getting the points on the board.
Harbour. 2 is no good from Diorama. But Jones-Aya there to clean it up. She's had a very productive game today. Footwork is nasty, but doesn't get the layup to fall. And here is Odemwingie right on cue, lightning quick, but almost was too quick for her own good. Ball goes out of bounds, or a whistle has gone. Referee's just having a quick clarification as to what the call is. I think it will stay with Manchester.
Yeah, gives them a chance to chip into this. The run needs to start pretty soon.
Izzy Spence-Muzzington nearly ran out of room, but turns the ball over as Wilson Oswide will go inside, and she will head to the foul line. Foul on Michelle Ortega.
Yeah, and it's a good foul, if you want to call a foul, a good foul from Ortega to stop the break, make CoLA have to work for it at the line. She's got fouls to give, Manchester have got fouls to give, so it's just stops CoLA in transition.
Absolutely, and it's only her second foul of the game as Wilson Oswide goes to the line. A Great Britain under-18 international.
Yeah,
and one of the more confident three-point shooters on this CoLA team. It's not often you mention CoLA and three-point shooters in the same sentence.
But yeah, she certainly is, and she can knock them down when she needs to. And again, another player that's come up through the CoLA ranks, got lots of experience with the London Lions a couple of seasons ago. But yeah, again, continues to just show what she can do.
Aboido with the score inside there for Manchester. It's back to an 11-point game. Diorama, Jones-Aya. Cross-court pass, finds Wilson Oswide, who just about gets it. She does get it to go. The coach, Rob Fairley and Peter Paraskeva, want to travel. Referee's not interested. And at the other end, Aboido steps out of bounds.
Yeah, it's all going CoLA's way at the moment. But if you're Manchester, you've just got to put that out of your head and just focus on it. Take it possession by possession. It's just chip into this lead. You know, get a stop, get a score, get a stop, get a score. It's so easy. Why don't teams do that all the time?
If only it were that easy, hey? And obviously they need to stop baskets like that as Aya Habel gets the friendly roll.
But that was a really nice shot from Isla Habal. The fadeaway just gets it to bounce in. She's got a fantastic shot, and again, just the way she moves with the ball, it's great to see.
Cecil Ide will check in momentarily for CoLA as Kizzy Spence-Muzzington from the foul line. 2:36 remaining in this one. A 13-point lead. And that's about to become 11 as Jackson Gibbons has seen enough. Irene Aboido with the score in transition. How many times have we seen that today? 2:26 remaining, and maybe there's a bit of life in Manchester.
Yeah, that's a really good run from them. The last, not even minute or so, just 30, 40 seconds. And that's what they just need to keep doing for Manchester. As I said, chip into it, take it possession by possession. I mean, CoLA, time on their side, they're in control here, but 2.5 minutes, anything can happen.
Absolutely. Well, they forced Reading into 30 turnovers last week, and they forced CoLA into 26 today. They're first in steals in the WNBL with roughly 15 a game. And Kaz's excitement has caused the camera to be knocked over. Don't do that again, Kaz.
That wasn't me. And Manchester certainly as well, they'll have an eye on the game when they come back over after the Christmas break against Worcester, playing at home on the 4th of January. And it, you know, teams play a lot of basketball. It's not just Division 1 that they're playing. We've said it before, the teams are playing WNBL, under 18s, under 16s. So, you know, some time off over the Christmas break can be a good thing, a bit of rest as well for some teams.
Pressure defense here being played by Ortega, who is not giving her ball an inch. Jones-Aya. Ide. 4 to shoot for CoLA. They need to do something with it, and it's a shot clock violation. A bit of a miscommunication again. And that's the 4th shot clock violation in this game for CoLA, as Wilson Oswide will check in and Ide will take a rest.
Yeah, 2 minutes to play there. That's exactly what you want if you're Manchester. Get in that 24-second violation, get in the stop. Now, can they score on this possession?
Ortega drives baseline. Finds no one but Chloe Vela. Vela has it back to Jones-Aya. The extra pass, Wilson Oswide. Jones-Aya again, 8 to shoot for CoLA. And a foul has been called before Jones-Aya got the pass off to Vela. One thing about Chloe Vela is, you know, dedicating herself to improving her game, not just at school at the City of London Academy, but elsewhere as well. This summer was working out with highly acclaimed skills coach Gary Maitland, working on her shooting form and general aspects of the game.
Yeah, she was. She's a really hard worker, and it's paying off. You can see the difference from the end of last season to this season. She just keeps adding new aspects to her game and making the move over from the Richard Knights to CoLA. You know, it's only going to give her more and more opportunities to show what she can do and keep developing. She had a great showing in the summer at GB for the under 16s, 7th in rebounds in the whole tournament, and being part of that squad. You know, historic promotion to Division A. She's just going to keep growing and getting better and better.
Lavelle Green into the game for the first time for CoLA. Her first play was a travelling violation. There'll be a jump ball situation. Possession arrow favours Manchester. Excuse me, favours CoLA even. And here is Green on the ball. And Hubble has it. Again, pressure defense from Ortega. As Diorama loses the ball, and away come the Mystics. And that's an offensive foul. And it's that player again, Isla Hubble. What a game she has had for CoLA here today.
Just had her fingerprints all over the game. Has 5 rebounds, 5 assists and 10 points. But, you know, she's been putting her body on the line for the team. She's just been working so hard. And, you know, a big part of this CoLA lead.
Well, she certainly felt the effects of that. She heads to the bench holding her cheekbone. Jones-Aya brushes off Ortega. Inside, and the finish from Vela. And with 42.1 seconds remaining, that surely is that.
Yeah, big win here for CoLA. It's going to move them to 8 wins and 2 losses this season. And just a huge game from them, you know, coming out strong defensively, coming up against Manchester. You know, as we've said, 2 teams really known for their defense, coming out on top here, travelling up to Manchester.
Well, it's a long trek, isn't it, to the northwest from the capital.
It certainly is, and just a massive game from Adora Diarama. That 20 points and 16 rebounds. She's been absolutely huge, but just on that last possession with Irina Bodo's steal, she's now had 7 steals in the game, along with 15 points. So, you know, that's again just much more to come from Irina Bodo, but I'm sure the team will again have a look down the schedule when they play CoLA away, and I believe that is the last game of the season for them. It is, yes, on the 22nd of March. So, you know, this will be something that will be in the team's mind as they go ahead. They'll go into the Christmas break, regroup, focus on that Worcester game on the 4th, and I'm sure the return leg will be something that everybody wants to see.
Absolutely. CoLA are an incredibly tough team to beat on their home floor in Southwark. As the final seconds wind down, there's only around 2 different differential between shot and game clock. It's irrelevant anyway. It's academic because CoLA will end up with the win here. Their successful odyssey to the northwest leads them to victory today over the Manchester Mystics, 62-49. And it was the Adora Diarama show, no doubt about it. 20 points, 17 boards, 3 of those offensive. What a performance from her today.
Yeah, absolutely massive. Really, a really great showing from her. And like I said, she just keeps getting better and better each game. And having this opportunity in Division 1, certainly a player to watch as we go throughout the season. But real credit to the CoLA team as a whole. When you look down the score sheet, everybody getting involved, everybody, you know, contributing, playing their part, like we saw in the huddles, in the timeouts, players leading the way, and it's a really big win for them, and congratulations to them.
Well, that ends our coverage for now here at the Manchester Basketball Centre. CoLA coming away with a 62-49 victory over the Manchester Mystics. But stay tuned, because on the Basketball England YouTube channel, it'll be the Manchester Magic against the Encon Derbyshire Arrows. That's due to tip off in around 20 to 25 minutes time. But for Caroline Bullock, I'm John Hobbs. Have a pleasant evening, everybody.